On today's project, we are working on a golf cart that needs new batteries. These batteries are pretty much dead at this point, and the battery cables are, well, they've seen better days. But before we get started, let me show you a new tool I ordered for the shop. This is a battery terminal crimper. What I like about this crimper is it's a tabletop mounted crimper. It does various sizes, and well, I'm really excited to try this thing out. So let's go ahead and mount it to the table. Mounting this crimper wasn't too hard at all. I pretty much just grabbed some self-tapping hex screws and screwed it into the table, and that seemed to work pretty well. The reason why I went with this crimper is it does all the sizes that I need it to do, and it also is tabletop mounted, so I can use my hands for other things like holding the cable and such. After removing the old batteries, I went ahead and replaced them with the new batteries, of course in the right order, and well, let's start with the cables. So I removed all the old cables. I have our new cables here, or a new roll of cable, and then I also have these lugs. These lugs are made by a company called Grote, and these are a 4 gauge by 5/16. 5/16 is the hole. Now, of course, when doing this type of work, you want to measure how far the cable will actually go into the lug, and then that way you will actually know how far you actually need to cut it. I don't use any special tools. I pretty much just use a razor and then put that razor straight and then just roll the cable like such, and it pretty much leaves a really, really nice cut. All I do is twist and pull, and there you go. Measuring the cable is pretty important, as you don't want to cut too much. You want to make sure that the cable goes into the lug with no gaps in between the lug. So let's go ahead and continue on with cutting the cable and then getting some bare wire showing. Of course, now we have our piece with both sides cut. Now, at the time of this video, I wasn't able to get any heat shrink. It was going to take too long, and they really needed this golf cart, so I didn't use heat shrink in this one, but normally I would. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and start using the crimper. I put the lug in there first, then feed the cable and go ahead and crimp. This actually left a really, really nice crimp. This is more of like a hex style crimp, if you guys can see here. Here's a better view. It does pinch a little bit on the side of the lugs, but that's all right. It actually still has a pretty nice and high quality finish to the crimp itself. And yeah, this thing is invaluable. So another view here, I just grab the lug here, pinch it just a little bit to hold the lug, feed in the cable, and then go ahead and crimp it. I like to do a double crimp on all the crimps that I do, just because I want to make sure that it holds that cable nice and tight. And as you guys can see, it leaves a really, really nice, clean crimp. All right, so now it's time to make new cables like a freaking cable factory. And I think I made like a total of 5 cables with this crimper, and I gotta say, this crimper is a badass. I really, really like it. It was pretty pricey for the most part, but at the same time, it's an invaluable tool at this point. And yeah, highly recommend this one if you guys are interested. Of course, I bought it from Napa Auto Parts. So now it's time to install our new cables and reroute it, and you can see how the cables look. It looks really, really nice. Although I would say this cable, I didn't really like how it was sticking out, so I went ahead and loosened the nuts that holds that cable particularly, and just kind of made like an S pattern and makes it look a little bit more cleaner. The batteries we're using are Napa Golf Cart GC2 batteries, and this is our final product. Overall, really nice and clean. This is typically how I like to do all of my cable install or battery installs. Make sure you take pictures if you guys are doing this. And of course, the last thing you guys want to do after every job is, well, you got to test drive it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. See ya.